How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another preseason FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Aston Villa in the second episode of our Team Watch preseason series, where we take a look at each individual team, look at their attacking options, defensive options, and transfer business, and how that will warp and shape our FPL decisions around that specific team for the upcoming FPL season. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, as well as turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it's readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams, which will be starting back up at the beginning of the FPL season, the week of basically the first game. The game's going to be on the Friday. I will be doing the deadline stream that day, which will be great, and so I'll be seeing all the madness in the chat. That'll be fantastic, as well as a preview stream either the Monday or the Tuesday, depending on how the video schedule kind of lines up. So without further ado, let's look at the defensive options for Aston Villa this FPL season. So as you can see on the graphic, you can see the first four fixtures up above, as well as the team stats just below for last season and the last four matches that they played, as well as the options that we have, which is the defense first, or at least some of the major defensive assets for Aston Villa in their last four matches that they played. Now, personally, I don't think Aston Villa's defense is all that great. They look to be a bit kind of all over the place towards the end of last season. I mean, if you look at Matty Cash, his numbers were decent. Luca Digne, when he played, was okay. But again, Digne was very injury prone, and Aston Villa were prone to mistakes at the back. And even Martinez didn't look himself as well from a season ago, where he was absolutely fantastic, and why he went up to 5.5 million last season, which is now seen a reduction down to 5 million. But I think they could get some clean sheets in this period. Bournemouth away, Everton at home, Crystal Palace away, maybe a couple clean sheets in there for Villa if they play the way that they should play based on the quality of their players. Matty Cash, Digne, Coutinho, they've brought in Babacar Kamara, who we'll talk about in the transfer section. The strength in that midfield. Ramsey's moving from strength to strength because he's absolutely fantastic as a box-to-box player. John McGinn, solid as ever. Watkins and Ings, they'll get you goals. And I think that overall their team is quite solid. It's just the center backs that are a bit suspect, personally, when they're on the ball. But if they can get it through to the midfield, they can do a lot of damage and create chances, especially for the fullbacks, which Matty Cash likes to come in and around the backside. Digne going to be more of the assister. Matty Cash potentially more of the goal threat. I mean, we can see here in the last four matches played, Digne, 9 chances created. Matty Cash, not so much, but he's getting a lot of shots off in the box. So it depends on what you're looking for out of your fullback. They are both going to be the same price this season at 5 million as well. The rest of the defensive options, not really too much going on there. You know, Tyrone Mings at 4.5 million, I think he is. He's either 4.5 or 5 from what I remember. Diego Carlos, who we'll talk about in a little bit, he's going to be the same price as Cash and Digne. Again, you're just going to want the more exciting player, unless he becomes a set-piece monster, in which case, then you might go for him. But if we take a look at the season stats, the Villa just weren't really that attacking, and their defense was leaking silly goals as well. So they really need to consolidate, maybe, you know, a couple more youth players. Archer is being mentioned a lot in a lot of FPL teams as a budget forward that could potentially see some minutes. We'll have to wait and see. With 5 subs, anything is possible. But I would say probably just one of Digne or Cash would maybe be like my 4th, 5th choice fullback in if I was playing like a back 4, back 5, and I wanted to, lower the budget a little bit from the likes of a Perisic, Chilwell, Cancelo, these sorts of price points, and I wanted to put a little bit more in midfield or maybe in my forward line. But I think defense is solid. I wouldn't be doubling up on them anytime soon. I think 1 is probably good enough because I think the fixtures turn from that West Ham game onwards are not as good. So just kind of take it with a pinch of salt there and see what they do in preseason. If Digne looks healthy and fit and you want more of the creator, he could be in there. Maybe more consistent points potentially because he does rack up a lot of BPS, and he's also won some set pieces. Matty Cash more of the open play threat, so you have to kind of see what Villa are looking for there. I think a lot of set pieces are going to be what Villa go for because they do have very good delivers of the ball with Coutinho and Digne. So that's it for the defensive options, and I don't think Martinez is going to be the 5 million goalkeeper of choice, because we'll see further on in our preseason watch videos of these teams. 5 million is a decent price point, but Martinez I don't think is at the level of some of the other goalkeepers, which we'll come on to talk about. We've already talked about Ramsdale, but there's a couple more coming later on. But that's it for the defensive options. Let's look at their attacking options for this season. So you're going to be paying around 7 million for any attacking option that Aston Villa offers, because it's just going to be 3 realistically. Coutinho at 7 million, Danny Ings at 7 million, and Watkins at 7.5. Danny Ings did show a good bit of form for the last 4 matches with 3 big chances, 6 shots inside the box. He was very good towards the end of last season. The problem with Danny Ings was inconsistency of starts, and his injury proneness was back on the cards. With the change of managers as well, you know, Dean Smith and Gerrard didn't know kind of what to do with him. Were they going to play more of a front 2? Were they going to play him like it through the middle with Watkins on the wing? It seems like they both like to run the channels, and I think a diamond formation does suit them well. If they play Coutinho at the head of that diamond and they have more of a workman-like midfield behind him, Coutinho can roam from side to side, with these two kind of splitting wide and running the channels, almost like a false 9 sort of system, with Coutinho kind of dropping into the pockets, causing some confusion for defenders. If Aston Villa can replicate that, their attacking numbers will definitely go up, because they need to go up. And if you see the numbers just above me over here, their last 4 matches, only 5 big chances, which is actually bottom 3 for all the teams in the Premier League from last season. Their stats overall were around like mid-table in most stats, and for attacking stats, not great. However, Bournemouth, Everton, 2 nice fixtures, potentially some openness there for the attacking options to get involved and create havoc and be somewhat of a value pick. 7 million though, not really sure we could potentially fit them in there. Some of the budget midfielders look to be quite good. Like if Coutinho's 7 million, if Rashford's hitting form, he's just in a technically, well, in theory, a better team. Same with Martinelli. Why wouldn't you just go for them? So not really sure what to think of them at the moment. Maybe preseason will show a little bit more kind of optimism around Aston Villa. They are a good team on their day, but maybe they need to strengthen elsewhere, or maybe they need to solve some issues to whereas, like, you know, kind of structurally and formation wise, to whereas it will free up the attacking options more. Because there were times where Aston Villa were free flowing, everything was going beautifully. Then there was times where it looked like they didn't know how to play any form of attacking football and were just sitting back and doing nothing. But we'll see if Diego Carlos allows for that, being able to play out from the back. I still think Tyrone Mings potentially could be a bit of a weakness, because he's not the greatest with the ball at his feet and is prone to mistakes. But if they can get it to the fullbacks with Cash and Digne, who are very good on the ball, we know that their midfield is going to be great on the ball, and these guys up front are going to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Ings more so than Watkins. Ings is a bit more clinical than Watkins. And Coutinho, we know how masterful he is when it comes to creating chances, as well as from open play and set pieces. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Me personally, I don't see myself picking any one of these for the first couple of game weeks, and maybe just a wait and see unless they really impress me in preseason. But we'll keep an eye on them, because it could be interesting, and maybe as a second forward, because we're looking at a second forward right now, because we don't want to go into the season where if Haaland gets like injured or something like that, or doesn't show up, then we have 2 4.5 million forwards on our bench that won't come in because they're not going to play either, most likely. So that would be unfortunate. We don't want that to happen early on in the season. So that's the attacking options. Let's see what Aston Villa has done to strengthen in the transfer market. So let's talk about the ins for Aston Villa. So Coutinho has finalized his deal from Barcelona, 20 million euros, approximately 17.1 million pounds. And these are approximations based off of Transfermarkt, which is a fantastic site. So if you haven't looked at that, it's great. It shows you all the different transfers and that sort of stuff, and the rumors as well. So which is where we get a good bit of information from, and kind of just refer to a bunch of different articles online, so we can get the most accurate information to help you make better FPL decisions. So Coutinho being 7 million, we mentioned him in the attacking section. But Diego Carlos has come from Sevilla. He's 5 million pounds in the game. He came for 26.5 million pounds. Do I think this helps them massively defensively? I still think Diego Carlos is a bit rash at times from what I've seen of him in the brief little snippets in European competition over the past couple of seasons. He does like himself a yellow card. He does like getting involved in a scrap, which may be what you know, him and Tyrone Mings could become basically kind of like Bash Bros almost in a sense. But if one's rash, then the other one being rash as well, then it could be danger if they're both on a yellow card. So we'll have to wait and see. I think he is a bit of a threat off of set pieces, from what I can tell. Again, I'm not proclaiming to know loads about him, but I think he could bring a bit of a force at the back. Whether he can play out from the back and play smooth, you know, easy on the eye football that Gerrard is looking to play, and very quick transitional play, because he's similar to Klopp style where he wants to be quicker in the transition. We'll have to wait and see. Also, Kamara has come in as well. He'll probably be the anchor role in central midfield. It'll be him at the base of the midfield three, with McGinn on one side and Ramsey on the other side, making that like kind of two number 8s as well as a number 6, which Kamara will occupy. Kamara is a very good footballer. He's able to spray a multitude of passing angles as well as different ranges of passing, because I've looked up a lot of him because he was linked to Man United in the winter transfer window as well. So I went and said, let's see how good he is, and he was on a free. He looks to be a fabulous young footballer and could be what Villa need to break the lines and get the ball to Coutinho or the likes of Ings and Watkins in space when the opposition isn't expecting it. They didn't really have that out of Nakamba. He was more of a kind of a destroyer style of player, but Kamara is going to bring kind of that metronome in central midfield. In terms of the outs, they've replaced Olsen, who's a backup goalkeeper. Not really anything crazy there. Trezeguet has also made his way out the club, so one less attacking option there. But one of the major ones is actually they generated some funds from Matt Targett, who finalized his deal to Newcastle for £15 million. So he's going to be their left back probably for the foreseeable future. He was on loan in the second half of the season to Newcastle and impressed them, and he's going to come in at $5 million for Newcastle as well, the same price as Trippier, but we'll talk more about that on the Newcastle section. But it's because the fact that Ashley Young is staying for an additional year, and they also have the likes of Luca Digne, which they bought, and then Target went on loan as a kind of result of them buying Luca Digne from Everton. So I think personally Villa maybe are looking for potentially another attacking option, probably one that can play either off the left or off the right so that they can have something slightly different. I think Leon Bailey is very injury prone. He's very raw as well. I think El Ghazi he was on loan at Everton, so whether he gets another move again, I'm not too sure about that. But I think they need another attacking option, probably someone who can play off the right or left. We'll have to see, because I think Leon Bailey can play both sides, but somebody who can basically complement it, maybe change formation slightly. So in the games where, you know, maybe Watkins isn't, you know, working well with Ings in a front two, they put Coutinho out on the left-hand side and they put this new signing out on the right-hand side. We'll have to wait and see if it's more of a marquee signing. Villa literally are quiet in the transfer window, and then all of a sudden, hey, look, Villa signed this player. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you looking at any of the Aston Villa assets, whether it be in attack or in defense, for your FPL team in your drafts for this coming season? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Scout members area, the one place that you need to be tuned into for the upcoming FPL season. It has a wide variety of resources and tools that will help improve your FPL game today. It has a bunch of different members-only articles written by some of the best FPL managers across the globe, heat maps for all the players and positions, as well as player comparison tools, which will help you see side by side who is going to be more effective for your FPL team, fully customizable stats tables powered by Opta stats, and much, much more. Use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to the Fantasy Football Scout members area today. It'll help improve your FPL game. This video has been sponsored by Manscaped, the best in male below the waist grooming. Make sure to check out manscaped.com so you can see the latest and greatest updates to their lawnmower, as well as their performance package, and much, much more for all their gadgets and gizmos to help keep your family jewels looking as shiny as ever. Make sure to use the code FLAME20 so that you can get 20% off your next Manscaped order, as well as free worldwide shipping. Go check out manscaped.com today. And that is going to do it for this edition of Team Watch for Aston Villa. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, as well as turn those notification bells on. It greatly helps out the channel. You can get all the videos as soon as they are readily available. Make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, mainly transfer news at the time of recording, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams, which will be starting back up, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, the week of the first game week. We will be live for the deadline stream as well on the Friday. I was able to get the time off, which is fantastic, so I'll be home ready and waiting for everyone to be all confused in the chat and all anxious and worried if their team is correct, and it's a very important decision. And make sure to check out Fantasy Football Scout. Link is down in the description below. Their members area is fantastic and it'll help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.